were just nominated for Best of Orlando, and you're going to be able to see them at the Orlando Nerd Fest. But before the interview, here is 20XTX from their album Sample It. Check it out.
Magitek 2000 XTX on a crisp big money beat. Here to spit about a little bit of retro futurism. Sometimes I miss the future that reigned on video screens way back in the day. Through layers of glass, tomorrow looked great, but nowadays I think I wanna escape. So let's all trip the continuum, get swinging there like a pendulum.
2000, whatever, saturated, 80s style, perpetuated.
Ghetto blacked in with fresh cassettes, girls bringing sex, bright lipstick and fishnets. Hip-hop and glam, that's my jam, tagging our names to the sound of his break hand.
I'm an alternate historian,
with a phone booth or DeLorean.
childhood dreams are born again.
Val Kilmer was Matt Mardigan. It's 20XTX and we've come so far, but I'm asking just like Randall, where's my flying car? As a baby of the 80s, saw a future exist in a world of new technologies, but barely like this. We've got rhymes about time for the future obsessed. It's 20XTX, yo, we're not impressed. The golden doors of bliss and trip the rip. Feel the stimulus of people giving a gift. Pyros or telekinetics, gene splice games with cheap prosthetics.
Laser gun charged, ready to shoot. Replicants giving mankind the boot.
Served by rock and roll with your food, and you don't gotta tip if they're acting rude. No.
Take a jetpack, get back with your fan. Project if it's a film on hologram.
When watching my favorite show, don't talk.
My 12-gauge shotgun shaves off mohawks.
Cyberpunk's trying to cut my Reeboks, but I can't pre-pump, so I jump 5 blocks away. I wanna live to see the day
where we can rock specs and see an X-ray.
It's 20XTX and we've come so far, but I'm asking just like Randall, where's my flying car? As a baby of the 80s, saw a future exist in a world of new technology, but barely like this. We've got rhymes about time for the future obsessed. It's 20XTX, we're not impressed.
Man, I want a hoverboard.
I want a duplicator. Shit, all the sidewalks should have had conveyor belts by now. Fuck that! Teleportation!
I'm still waiting on my invisibility apparatus.
Man, how about some cleaner bots that'll wipe my ass forward or something? Dude, that does exist! In Japan! Well, why do they get to live in the future?
Man, I want an all-expense-paid vacation to Mars. Or the moon or something, I ain't picky.
And what about aliens? Are we still not advanced enough or something? Get the fuck down here!
Oh, and sex in space.
Porn. Yeah, I've actually spoken to some people and I play video games, but I'm not like super duper well versed in a lot of it. And I was talking with someone about Magitek, and I was like, you guys gotta check out Magitek. And the first thing that popped in their mind was, oh, Magitek, that's a element that you find in a lot of these games. And I'm like, oh, well, that, and it's an awesome rap group.
Yeah, we actually got third in Best of Orlando Weekly today.
Yeah, you guys.
The party was awesome, and I got a lot of alcohol in me right now, so.
This is the perfect time to do the interview then.
Yeah, I was almost going to make it over there, but I got compressed with time, and I couldn't.
Should I
have done the drinking at least. Damn.
So, yeah, where did the name Magitek come from, and how do you feel about such a level of I'd say notoriety, because you guys have kind of built this fan base. It's just kind of like very grassroots, but it's kind of blowing up.
Yeah, over time, progressively, hopefully. I'll just say a couple things about where Magitek came from, and then Jay can probably fill in the rest. We played a hell of a lot of RPGs back in the day, especially Super Nintendo, Golden Age kind of stuff, and when we started working on music and just dinking around like 10 years ago plus, like at the end of high school, we just wanted a project for, name for the things we worked on, and we're like, well, We used this name, this reference, and it all just got thrown around. Then eventually, we just settled upon Magitek somehow one afternoon because it was like, we love Final Fantasy VI so much, and we wanted to reference that. We just thought the term Magitek sounded cool, the idea of magic combined with technology. And I mean, I should really stress there how important Final Fantasy VI/3 was to us, to our friendship back in the day, and how it's a game that affected our lives and a lot of people's lives. It's a standing work of art, like many people would say one of the greatest RPGs and games of all time.
That was back on Super Nintendo, right?
Yep. Super Nintendo.
Back when they were still pretty damn good Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7's probably one of the last good ones on the disc era.
I'll stop at 10. I think 10 was the last one.
So
Chris left out one cool part about that whole story, though.
What's that?
When we were coming up with the names for the band, because we were in this other band called Lunatic Pandora, which is this shitty thing that I'm going to get into. Jesus Christ, Glitch.
Sorry about that.
And anyways, that band broke up, so me and Chris started Magitek. But before we had a name, we spent like a whole afternoon like writing out shitty band names on this piece of paper. And there were some really ridiculous ones. Like, I think one of them was Papa's Purple Pistol.
Yeah, okay.
And then there was one that was like Santa's Fuzzy Dice. It was all nuts reference.
Right.
One of them was like Magitek, and I remember on the piece of paper, Magitek was written there, and we thought about it, we talked about it, and they were like, yeah. And then Chris wrote underneath it, it's Magitek. It was circled and said, fuck yeah, underneath it. So I was like...
Wow. Yeah, you restored that memory now, Jay. I don't know if I ever would have recalled it like that again. Wow.
So
that's the one.
Would we ever see a Santa's Fuzzy Dice album?
No.
Maybe a track.
We should.
Like, you would not have to have any other theme. It's just music, and it's called Santa's Fuzzy Dice.
Do I have a Christmas album now?
That was Magitek presents Santa's Fuzzy Dice. Ugh, I don't know.
So that's where where did the name originated from? Where did the sound from Magitek come from? Because I see where it kind of comes from everywhere, and you've actually been compared to Beastie Boys on several occasions.
I'll just say here really quick, a few people have pretty much said a very similar thing, which is just like the best example was Beastie Boys meets the Super Nintendo, or like the 16-bit era. Which is not exactly what we went for.
Compare it to them.
Oh, I didn't hear you. What were you saying? Sorry.
Like, usually after the Deep Space Step, we can compare it to like the Beastie Boys because we do that whole transition and we play off each other.
Yeah, I think that's probably why people see that the most about us. Is because of our tendency and ability to just write like 3-4 person songs where we switch up a lot so much. That's probably why. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. What's awesome about you guys, and I think. That's a great comparison, but what I pick out of you guys is a lot of I saw the Magitek in all of your songs, like the demons and the technology, like 20XDX and like all that stuff, where it's just like the ultra nerdy, like super level of stuff. So are you guys like interested in like the science and alternate dimensions and stuff like that, or are you guys just like you guys just throw stuff out?
Well, that's a big thing. We did an album back in 2006 called Distorting Reality for Better Perception, and it was just all about time travel and like crazy space battles and just stuff like that. And that's always been like, that was one of our earlier things, and that's just something that's always stuck, and it's always carried over into even later projects. Like, that carried over into Odd Entities, and that carried over into Sample Loop and all that. It's just part of who we are. It's one of those root things about Magitek, is the whole...
Right, I would add into that it's like, we kind of, back at that time, it was really just Jay and I with, like, friends occasionally, like, being on stuff a little bit, but just he and I as a duo at that point. We wanted to like build up a mythos and like characters and stories, and there's who we are as rappers, but also like our I guess you would say alter egos and like versions of us in different timelines, like that kind of crazy convoluted stuff, but we never really put it together in a way that made sense. Instead, we just were like, well, in this song, we are this version of Jay and Chris, or like we're just. Wouldn't you say that's true, Jay? That's pretty much how that's.
That's pretty true, yeah.
So somewhere, it's not like a full concept album. Instead, you have concept tracks that you could kind of like pull together, right?
Yeah, there's like different pools of like, there's this version of us here, and there's this version of us here. Like, it was not an intentional thing because even though I knew of Doctor Who way back then, it wasn't like supposed to be like Time Lord stuff. But in a sense, yeah, it's like pretty much us doing like Time Lord / Bill and Ted / like whoever else traveling through time and space in ridiculous ways and just taking part in weird hijinks. That kind of thing, I guess.
So I guess the big question is, would you guys ever consider fleshing that out into a full album?
I would just say really quick that I think that would take a lot of planning, and the only downside or downside to that is that we'd end up retreading a lot of the same ground we've already gone upon. But it would be cool to try and make into a cohesive story.
The Magitek story, the saga. Where
I don't know. What you
3 or 4 songs worth wouldn't be that big a deal.
What's that?
Probably like at least 3 or 4 songs worth wouldn't be like kind of big a deal. Like, you know, your introduction, Jay's introduction, my introduction, then like a thing we all three do together.
That would be cool. I'm down with that. That would just be an interesting, like, it wouldn't even have to be that long, but like a few songs or like an EP, which would just be like, here's a way where it makes more sense and we can just present it to you.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I love too is that you guys, would you guys say that you make the music, but then you care more about the performance, and you're like, well, we're going to get the music out there, however it's going to be out. Don't care which way, but it's about the performance. Would that be accurate?
Yep.
Because your performances are absolutely amazing.
You should see us with wireless mics.
Wireless mics? What?
Like which kind? Like it was the one before the last one where me and Chris both had the wireless mics. We were like everyone on the stage and in the crowd, and I was toward the back with the crowd. Like, you know, there's that group of people that's like, I'm gonna sit behind you in the very back, and I won't be noticed or kind of shit like that. So I went back there to relax and chill and talk to everyone back there. It got very awkward, and I made sure it stayed that way.
See,
I'd say that like live performances, we've done enough regularly over the last few years. Whereas back in the day when we were first making our albums, we only did a couple here and there. We would ideally, at least I would ideally, like our recorded sound to be completed in a way that was like ideal and us have like a new album. We should have had one by now. But we've been able to so much more easily play shows and hone ourselves that way and like increase our performance. And then the studio stuff and the actual recorded new stuff just has been like not fallen to the wayside, but it just hasn't been completed as we'd like. So it's coming, and maybe they'll match each other eventually, so people can listen to that, you know, instead of just coming to a show. But yeah, for now it's just been much easier to play live and rock faces.
There's certain aspects I wouldn't want it to fully match each other because, like, you know, make every show different, make you want to come to a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Just, like, pan out the same stuff and say the songs the same way and whatnot. That's cool, but not fun.
Yeah, not exactly the same, but just like, here's some really solid, you know, recorded versions, but when you come out live, you're not just hearing us reproduce that exactly, you're getting something different.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
most performers nowadays don't seem to want to involve the crowd, which I can't seem to wrap my head around because I love involving the crowd and whatnot.
I'll just take a stab there at some hip-hoppers and such that, like, work the crowd, but in my opinion, they work the crowd in very, like, typical ways. I don't know, like, just like, hey, say this back to me. And we do that, but the way we do it, we try to make a little bit different.
Well, yeah, you guys completely play it, and going back to it too, it's like a live performance in an album is completely different. You can't see Glitch naked on an album.
Well,
not
that
you.
looks good.
Look, I have never been naked to a show. I've been in my boxers and nothing more and nothing less. Thank you for that.
But it's always, it's a Magitek performance when at some point Glitch does take articles of clothing off.
I guess maybe. It's not Magitek definitive in my mind, but if it has,
I've been pretty clothed the last couple of shows we've had.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go way back here, like throw way back and date myself or ourselves somewhat, but maybe we'll do like a Red Hot Chili Peppers thing at one show.
Rock the Orlando Nerd Fest with socks.
Yeah, just socks on. That's it.
I'm down.
No one would know what to say.
That's immediately where my mind went. Is like the response. People couldn't, be appalled maybe, but they'd just be like pure shock and awe. Just like, what? No, what? So.
Just wear some of those like nerdy socks.
And if we perform like nothing's wrong.
Just do not pay any mind to it. Do not acknowledge the fact the emperor has no clothes. Kind of
Yeah, Orlando Nerd Fest is a pretty big gig that you guys have. It's like, is this the biggest gig?
My noble bodysuit as soon as I can.
Is this pretty much the biggest gig that you guys performed at so far?
It could be, yeah.
It most likely will be, considering Nerdapaloozas, I'd say, are the biggest things we've been at, and many of our associates and contemporaries. But it's shaping up. It looks that way.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a show, absolutely. And also, like Glitch was pointing out, you guys got nominated for Best of Orlando. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, it's interesting and cool to see like how that transpired. I meant to ask a few people, but the way in which we got like initially submitted to that and then considered for the different rounds.
I think
maybe it just naturally happened.
I think it's a voting process.
So.
Yeah, I don't know if like somebody kicked that off though, like the initial like suggestion. I wonder how that happened.
Like, I wish we knew it sooner because I would have been promoting the hell out of it. Like in the week and a half. Like, I'm happy and surprised at the same time that we got third place.
Who got, if you don't mind me asking, who got first and second?
Some group named Moon Jelly second, and then the first group was I just had it in my mind earlier, but yeah, Moon Jelly who was second place. I don't know who was first.
I've never even heard of these guys.
I'm with Jay. Who cares? They're going down in 2015, yo.
Yes. Well, it's. Some people would say that a contest like that is just kind of like it's like a small victory, but in all reality, third place, second place, whatever place, it's showing that you're getting that level of recognition. So it's like you guys went from just being best friends, just playing music, to now getting like that acknowledgement, which is pretty amazing. Like,
yeah,
it pays to have amazing songs.
Honestly, I just like the free booze at the party.
Yeah, look, he got the booze for all of our hard work, man.
Hey, I hope to.
You owe drink some liquor.
I think it's cool to get that recognition. A lot of people would say it's hard to like determine like where it came from and what that really means in the scheme of certain things. Like, but overall, I would never really worry too much about how much that really means in the end, because it's very plain to see. The simplest thing it means is that enough people are just like, hey, I like your stuff enough. I'd like to see you get recognition, and I recognize you. And that's the same for anybody that gets up there in that regard. So it's just nice to have that.
See, the other thing that I really like about you guys too is compared to a lot of the other groups. Like there's a lot of groups like maybe modern rap groups or just like some other bands here or there. What's cool about you guys is that you guys kind of do your own thing, and it seems like people follow to that. You guys are true to yourself first.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
a big part of us.
Oh, absolutely.
We do it. Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I do it for myself. I want to make music that I want to listen to. You know what I mean? So if other people want to listen to it, that's cool. You know what I mean? I'm all about that. But first and foremost, I want to make something that I'm proud of.
Oh yeah.
This little EP called Pandering, where we're gonna like. Never mind, just being stupid right now. We're gonna do a Crate Net album, party rock kind of thing.
When I had IQ on a couple of weeks ago, I was asking him if it seems like a lot of modern rap in general, not like the mainstream stuff, is just extremely just negative and kind of redundant to a degree. Would you guys kind of feel almost the same way? Because you guys are extremely unique.
I have a hard time answering that because I think of so many different people, especially in the oversaturated YouTube era, that just throw out lots of random parody songs or just like, you know, some pretty funny stuff sometimes. But it's just everything's so broadly creative that I don't feel as much as like what you just said. That okay, maybe in like the more like radio, super mainstream sense, there is a lot of just redundant, negative stuff, but. What's the word? Dull? It's just so monotone.
Rigmarole.
It just depends on what level you're talking about. I mean, if you're going to look at the extreme mainstream thing, yeah, everything is very similar. But the just like anything else, the deeper you dig, the more interesting things get. So it just depends on how you're looking at it, really, I guess.
I really like that. I like that. Because I guess if you're at the surface level, it's not deep. I guess they call it deep for a reason.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, we always, I wouldn't say struggle to be deep, but we just want to, carrying this weird metaphor further, or making it weirder, we like to swim around, because, like, talking about making, like, Glitch, like, was joking about pandering earlier. I don't think any of us like to pander, but at the same time, we like a lot of things, so I know, at least from my side, I like doing things a bit more conventional at times, or doing things that are broader. But the core of it all is very much just like, nope, we sit low, like down below the surface.
It's also one of those moments where it's like, hey, we're having fun doing this. Come and join the ride. Like,
yeah, find ways to kind of like bridge gaps.
So I guess the big question is, what's the future for Magitek? What can we expect down the line?
Hardcore, nasty porn.
Yes, finally.
Did you just say hardcore gymnastic porn? That's what I...
Even better. I just said nasty, but gymnastic is even better.
Okay, we were talking about like dancers.
We're gonna have to work on our flexibility, guys.
Behind my head, so I'm set.
Okay, well, you and me, Chris, we got to do some stretches before we get gymnastic porn, because I know my body's not ready for it yet.
I hope you get ready, Jay.
I'm just a deer in headlights right now.
Well, you know, Glitch is good at getting naked and fun to love.
Now we girls will have a field day. And fix aplenty.
Magitek is not yaoi, I guess.
Magitek is not yaoi.
I kind of had a feeling that this interview was going to go in this direction.
Okay, but in all honesty, we're working on getting a lot of stuff recorded. In all honesty.
Yeah, we have a new album which we actually started recording April of last year. But it's not as though we've been recording this whole time. We just had chunks in which we got it done, and then we had a large period of time for a variety of reasons and things going on where we didn't get to come back to it till recently. Due to scheduling conflicts and just logistics, we haven't been able to finish recording the rest of it.
Downright luck.
Yeah, but as soon as we get that underway, are we in agreement that we still want to call it that, guys? Are we still calling it?
I'm okay with it still.
I'm down.
Okay, can it be revealed?
Well, it's been talked about a little bit here and there before, but not like widespread. But yeah, it's going to be called Violently Fresh.
Ooh, official, guys.
Yeah.
Violently Fresh. I like that. Exclusive. All right, folks. Well, that was a fantastic chat with you. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Word.
For having us.
Absolutely. Catch you all later.
Bye.
Bye, dude.
All right. Bye. Well, that was them. Magitek, Quartz Relic, Thugmaster J, and Son of a Glitch. Great insights, and they also revealed their new album title. But before we go, here's another track from Sample It, Mass Destruction. And don't forget, you can catch them at the Orlando Nerd Fest next weekend. You won't want to miss it.
Here's a way, take a beats loud, face reality, never be charity. The enemy you fight and covers whole society. Damn right, mama's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment to destroy the nation. You're on slow motion, give me motivation. Bring down now, and dead on arrival. Round up around, spit out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out, the moon, they diss you out. Guess what, this sound it bumps on ground. Surround up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one world, one love. But the battle goes on, shadows of mass destruction. Orpheus, Jack Frost, mass destruction. Apathy's corrupted. Incubus, Odin. There'll be summons, watch the end as it comes. Megatek's got the demonic style, fully hypnotic, critical hits to the skull. More than high school, play a role that you never knew. Control your own fate, step into the room. It's a hue of blue and a grand power. Does it select you for the proper hour? Know your true mind, unleash what's inside. As a combat, it's do or die. On your feet, can exploit weaknesses to the max. They will hold back, the masses will attack. It's the peeps you bonded, keeping it on track. To avoid the path of a cul-de-sac. So you don't have to be fat or Atlas, yo. The apocalypse spinning from Tokyo. JRPG's got strength beyond looks. Get your script lit, then hit the books. Horus! Overon! And we're bringing that mass destruction. Apathy's corrupted. Hail Rider! Thanatos! There'll be summons. Watch the end as it comes.
My skill level has increased.
Son of a bitch. I got no choice but to fight.
Alright, one for all and all for one.
Lift my evoker, let me loose on the choker. Shooting Rasputin and the wild card joker. The allure metaphor in Lucifer's vision. With a twisted Hellion mission on itching, twisting round and about. Emma beck and call. With a large, a small, the strong, consume them all. He doomed to fight. A soulless army, do it smartly. Make no amateur mistakes, team. Leave the embryon, rise above digital. With Jack Point God, no slack, get it critical. Formidable fiends, three pitiful means. Murder mysteries, all my meddling teens. Full moons, hand rumors amassed. Fog seeps out from behind the glass. Start as a fool, take your place in the world. Kill all the baddies and get the girl.